עוד יותר, יוצרי התוכן של ישראל.
Why are you laughing? What was so funny? What I missed?
No, I just dropped the clap.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, on the Switch, and I turned it off like the champion.
Oh, the TV.
Like the champion that I am. I'm ruining everything. It's fine. It's all good. It just, with everything's happening.
Happen.
Yeah, everything is happening. So, that's might as well just, crashed everything.
Oh my gosh.
Put us, our, we have our own, or we just have audio to, oh, really? Okay, let's see.
I'm fixing it. There we go.
Let's see. Shachar knows what's up. When one thing goes wrong,
everything goes wrong.
No, you're like, oh shit, come on, what is this? The second thing, you're like, what is going on? The third thing, you're like, okay, just one of these days, it's fine. Everything is going to shit. Yeah, let's go.
Guys, we're here. This is resiliency.
Yes.
We're here. We're showing up. We're not letting the fear get to us. Mm-hmm. We're resilient.
Yeah.
Welcome back, guys. Quick recap. Comedy show last week. We're back at it.
Yes.
Was amazing.
It was awesome.
That was awesome. Next one, August 20th. Mm-hmm. Be on the lookout for that. Quick congrats to our 6th medalist. It's 6, right?
Yeah.
We're 6 medalists.
Yeah.
Quick round of applause. 3 for judo, 2 for windsurfing, and 1 for gymnastics.
Yeah.
More to come.
Everything that Israelis are good at shows in the Olympics. Fighting in the beach. That's all that we good at.
That's so true.
We're taking everything.
That's so true.
If there's something in the ocean or fighting, we're just,
That's so true.
Exactly.
So recap of current events. Obviously, it's been a pretty tough week. Weekend, lots of anxiety in the air once again. Lots of deaths last week. Good. I don't know if death's the right word. Lots of,
Assassinations.
Yeah.
Takedowns.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. Faoud Shakar, Hezbollah's most senior military commander. Did I pronounce that right?
Who gives a
Shukar.
Who gives a Faoud Shakar about it?
Faoud Shakar was a senior advisor to Hezbollah.
Yeah.
Played a central. I love how
all of them played a central part. Yeah.
No, but I love how the IDF is posting they played a central role in the U.S. bombing, to try to get the U.S. involved in there and make it look good that we're helping the U.S. out too.
But let's be honest, all of them. Hamas, Hezbollah, all of them played a crucial part in everything going wrong in this world.
For sure.
If it's bombing in the U.S., in Israel, everywhere else, they're just a bunch of, that's what they do. They're terrorists. That's what they do.
Yeah.
So it's not just us. People, when it comes to Israel, people are, they're more inclined to forgive. Yeah. Oh, it's Israel. Oh, they have their own conflict. It's all good. They're used to, those kind of things. You should know that these guys are not just bad for us specifically. They're bad
for the world.
Yeah. Just like,
crazy,
Cardi B's music, it's just bad for the world, not just for the US, for everyone. So, yeah.
It's crazy how some of the news were with Ismail Haniyeh, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. They were key person in ceasefire deal or key political activist. What the just when you think these things in the media can't get worse, they find a way to make it worse.
Of course, because they can always depend on the stupidity of Americans.
That's true.
Always.
That is true.
And obviously a lot of other countries, but Americans are just so vocal with it. They're so Ismail Haniyeh was a big leader. Shut the f*** up, Stephanie. What the f*** do you know about anything? What? Because they told you his name. He looks like a terrorist. Yeah, you know what I mean? And a bunch of my uncles. But he looks like a terrorist. So please stop.
Country.
You know what I mean? Stop. Yeah. They're just, it's so American. I gotta say, it's so American to pretend to know everything about everything. You will never hear I don't know enough about the subject. It's always let me tell you about the Middle East. Somebody told me that. And he's like, let me tell you a few things about the Middle East. And I was like, really, dude?
From America.
Yeah, of course. I was like, okay, how would you feel if I would say, let me tell you a few things about whatever you're living in? You'll be offended, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So don't. Yeah. I guess because it's Jews and it's Israel, everybody can say everything. Yeah. But the thing that people have to understand really quickly, I think if you didn't understand that yet, you should now. Israelis, we're not, we're not the Jews of the diaspora. Mm-hmm. If you come for us, we're going to come for you. Yeah. It's just fair, Yeah. We never start shit. But if you start with us, we're going to finish the job. So,
right.
Yeah, you should know that about everything, by the way, not just terrorists.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
If you with us, we're going to back. So that's... Yep.
The memes were out of control also.
Of course,
wow.
Of course.
Like, the memes
what
were just absolutely insane.
Yeah, I love
What was your favorite one?
There was a lot of them. The one that they're all like... gradually disappear.
Yeah, that was good.
My favorite one. That was my favorite one.
Good.
It was Ismail Haniya. What was the other?
There's Mohammed Def.
Mohammed Def, and then the third one was, I think, Raisi, the president of Iran.
Yeah.
So they're all like gradually, the room is empty. I love that. I love that.
Oh my gosh, no! The head of Mossad needs a raise ASAP. Like, he needs a raise. I hope he got a raise. He probably walked in that morning and was just like,
it's going to take a lot more than that, for everyone in the Israeli headquarters to not be, publicly resign or, because it's not, okay, you killed Ismail Haniya.
Right.
Great. Sinwar had an operation in Israel. He had a cancer. We cured that. And now he retaliates. Haniya worked in Israel. He was a construction worker.
Crazy.
All of those worked here, lived here. They study the Israeli environment, the Israeli state of mind. Like, they know Nasrallah obviously watched the news. Like, it's a common thing. We know Nasrallah watched the news like all the time, the Israeli news.
Yeah.
So we're not really, as Israelis, we're not really impressed by that. It's a good thing that they're eliminated, but it's going to take a lot more than that. First of all, the hostages.
Yeah.
First and foremost.
Yep.
The hostages, and then we'll talk about giving each other pats on the back. No, that's your job. Do your fucking job.
Yeah, agreed. What would you have to say? Like, one thing that really pisses me off about some of my colleagues from college in America is that they're always talking about Qatar being the key mediator, negotiator, like a neutral side, and then Qatar went and
neutral.
So Qatar went and broadcasted Haniya's death and like put him up and like on all the buildings. Like, how do you even fight? You can't even fight with these people. Like, clearly, how do you explain that?
Yeah, it's that's the thing. I think the world is not ready. The world is not ready for Israel to really understand that we're here alone, because now we're depending on the Americans, we're depending on the government, we're depending on the surrounding countries, Jordan, whatever, Egypt. But the moment we're truly going to realize that it's only us and no one else matters, that's when really all hell is going to break loose. And you don't want that, because for now, the only thing that holding us back is the American support and the public opinion and the international court and blah, blah, blah. But,
there's only so much. I feel like we just keep putting Band-Aids and Band-Aids. Yeah.
There's only so much. Like, we're fighting against the most horrible enemy that the world ever known, with one arm behind our back and jumping on one leg. You don't want us to free the hand and the leg, because that's when we're going to start, really burn some shit up. So,
do you just think that eventually there's going to be a war between radical Islam and the Western world?
What do you mean there is a war going on?
No, right, the Western world is America. That's not happening there.
There is a war. The thing is, that's what people don't understand. They perceive war as army against an army, declaration like World War I, World War II, when it's like very organized and people are pushing the borders, people try to conquer, areas. That's the old war. The new war, in this age of, misinformation, they're winning. Yeah. They're taking over the world, right? Like, there's gonna be no traditional war, because they're already winning under the surface.
Kind of like a Cold War.
It's kind of kind of like a Cold War, and it's a media war, and they're winning because there's so many losers and so many idiots, and again, this vanity of Westerners to say I understand, and you shouldn't say that, and you shouldn't say this, and Islamophobia and transphobia and right under your nose, they're taking everything from you. Like they're taking everything, and you can go ahead and support them. Like you won't be the first one they're gonna eliminate. So Israelis, we can't afford that, but the Western world is about to be. My German friend told me, like he's Jewish from Germany, and in Germany it's illegal to have the Palestinian flag. Like not even just a flag. Somebody wore a T-shirt with a Palestinian flag. He got arrested.
Wow, I did not know that.
They just pull him off the restaurant like.
Wow. Okay, so we said lots of deaths. Faoud, Shakar, Ismail, Mohammed Def.
All the Ninja Turtles. All the Palestinian Ninja Turtles. Faoud, Ahmad, Ismail.
Another death in news. Roberto Loli Linguanto.
Oh.
The man who invented the famous tiramisu. Died at age 81. Tragedy.
And basic bitches all over the world are mourning.
They were. It was all over TikTok. It was all over Instagram. It's like National Tiramisu Day now. It was very upsetting.
Yes, we
for
need
all the
another
jobs.
international day of some bullshit. 100%.
But on a lighter note, seriously, with all this talk, and you said this kind of at the comedy show, you were saying like, there's one good thing that's come out of all this is the unity that we all have now.
Yeah.
The Jews have, the Israelis, we're all unified.
Like never before, I gotta say. Like never before.
And I think it's something that's been helping a lot of Olim here recently. Like, as much as we feel hopeless, I mean, you know this, like it's not been an easy time for any of us. There are daily anxieties. A lot of us cope with humor, cope with different ways, but the unity that's been here throughout it all has really helped us all. So
I'm so happy to hear that.
You guys are a big part of it.
There's nothing more to do than to be united, you know? One good thing. The glass a little bit full. Not even half, but just a little bit. Just a little bit full.
Just a little bit. So we had a lot of audience questions, especially since we've been away for so long. And this one, I feel like you can give some input, even though you live in Holon, but you know Tel Aviv well. So
she's just every time she's pushing the buttons. Okay.
So the audience wants to know, especially future Olim who are considering making Aliyah, what are the different stereotypes of living in Tel Aviv in the different neighborhoods? So we're going to go one by one the different neighborhoods. We have the Old North, we have Florentine, we have the Center, we have Jaffa, and discuss the different stereotypes because they do exist.
Okay. I can say, because
we're going to start with the Old North.
Let's start with the Old North. What do you got to say about that? It's rich people, Ashkenazi
families, lots of fancy gyms.
Yeah,
kind of boring. I used to live in the Old North. I lived on Nordau, Hayarkon.
Oh, okay.
Very family oriented.
Yeah. If you look for peace and quiet and feel wealthy, even if you're not, that's the Old North for you. Yeah.
You don't want to live in the action.
Yeah.
A lot of people who live in the Old North are like, I don't want to live in the action. I want peace and quiet.
Exactly.
So if you're looking to make Aliyah and you kind of want that peaceful life
and stay in Tel Aviv,
and Old North it is. The Old North borders, I would say, like Arlozorov up. You know the streets?
Not even a little bit further.
A little bit further?
Yeah, just a little bit. But
again, up.
But again, Tel Aviv ends, it doesn't really end. It's like Bnei Brak, Ramat Gan, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit more than Arlozorov, but let's say Arlozorov.
Would you consider Ramat Aviv to be Old North? No, Ramat Aviv is a totally different Tel Aviv.
Ramat Aviv is a different country, just so you understand.
It's basically Lebanon.
Ramat Aviv, it's a different country. The people, the vibe, everything is different. I worked in Ramat Aviv in a daycare. The parents.
Every time we're on this podcast, Matan tells me, I worked at this, I did this, I worked in Ashdod doing this.
Yeah.
I worked at the mall kiosk.
I'm 35 years old.
I'm like, whoa, this guy, wow.
I'm
very impressive.
Somebody told me, he told me like, I went through your work resume and it feels like 4 different people.
Literally.
Yeah, because I was lost.
And you've done every city.
Yeah.
Wait, so what'd you do in Ramat Aviv?
I worked in a daycare.
Doing what?
An after school program.
What age?
First graders and second graders.
But how old were you?
It was 3 years ago. How old was I?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I first moved to Holon, it was right after COVID, and I didn't really had sufficient funds to even live in Holon, which was very sad.
Yeah.
And my dad paid for my first 6 months because he really wanted me out of the house. Because it was like a game of chicken, you know? Because it was like, you need to get out. I was like, I don't have any money for rent. He was like, I will pay your rent. I was like, yeah, let's do it. For a year, it's like for 6 months. I was like, done. That's how it was. So, yeah. So, I worked in Hulon. I lived in Hulon. And I have like an after-school program like 5 minutes away from my house. But no, they took me to Ramat Aviv. And it was a great experience for like 4 months. And then my TikTok started like blowing up and get attention.
And that was 3 years ago.
That was 3 years ago.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, I was so broke. I was so broke, and I worked in the after school program for like $4,500 a month.
Wow,
which is nothing.
Yeah,
like
nothing.
$2,000 is was my rent money, which is still very low, but like half of my paycheck. And then I got my first campaign for Planet movie theaters, and they told me you need to come in for a premiere of some movie, shoot a video of a minute, and post it, and we'll give you 5,000 shekels. The day after, I went
you quit.
I was like, that's my 2 weeks notice. Yeah, see you guys. Wow. That was awesome. Yeah,
that's a true success story right here, guys. Matan Perez.
Thank you.
Seriously, really mean that. Okay, on from the Old North and Ramat Aviv.
Yeah.
The center. Center is for people who say, I like to party.
Yeah. Center, it's for people who loves noise.
Spending money.
And, going out,
wine
drinking.
bars, fancy wine. Oh my God, there's this new wine bar that just opened.
Exactly. And it's going to be closed in 3 months, but let's enjoy it while it lasts. Yeah. That's the whole thing about Tel Aviv.
People in the center never leave the center. I live in the center and I struggle with that. And I do admit, like, you stay in the center, which is like border like the Shuk to like Ben Gurion Gordon, and you don't leave. Everything. My friend lives in the Old North. Oh my God, it's so far. Oh my God, like I don't want to go. They never leave the center. It's like it's the center.
I know, but the thing about the center is that you should get out before it gets pathetic.
Do you think it's going to get pathetic? Where do you think Tel Aviv's headed? Like, right now, the center is the place to be. I'm not talking about Dizengoff necessarily. Dizengoff used to be the hotspot.
Depends on how old are you and what are you doing with your life.
Okay.
Because if you're a single gal or a single guy and you want to, like you're 25, 26, 28, and you just want to party and have fun, great. That's awesome for you. Yeah. From 20 to 30, let's say 32, that's still kind of awesome. 32 and up, leave the center. It's pathetic.
I think I agree with that.
It's pathetic. It's like ponytail.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Be an adult, Yeah. Stop it.
Yeah. Did you ever live in the center? No. You never lived in Tel Aviv, have you? Wow. Hard no. Hard no.
No.
No, don't give our listeners...
I love my peace and quiet in Hulon.
I love gotten that in the Old North.
I love my neighbors, and I love the fact that I have a huge apartment with a parking spot, with an elevator, and I pay a fraction of anyone else that lives in Tel Aviv. Just because it's Tel Aviv.
I think Matan should be the Hulon spokesman. I've never heard someone speak so highly of Hulon. Usually everyone shits on it. Everyone's
I love Hulon. I really do. It's a great city. It's just, I've been living there for the past 3 years, and I stayed. Like my contract was up like 2 months ago, and I told my roommate, I was like, we're staying in Hulon, right? He was like, yeah, and we moved 500 meters from the last apartment, and just to get like a street away. And we're having the best life. I'm
curious, in a few months, we do a survey and we see that the Olim in Hulon increased after this podcast.
Listen, guys, if you want to get the true Israeli experience and still stay in center Israel and still be 9 minutes away from Tel Aviv, come to Hulon. You will learn Hebrew because you have to.
Hulon spokesman.
Because you have to, because no one knows English in Hulon. I'm the only one. Me and my barber, maybe. So, you will learn Hebrew so quick, and you will really assimilate yourself in the Israeli culture. And you're 5 minutes away from Tel Aviv. So, we should have like
Olim in Hulon.
Like Olim in Hulon,
I'm getting the Instagram handle right after we get off.
Yes.
Olim.in.hol, like an abbreviation for
Yeah. HLN? HLN. Yeah, let's do HLN. That's sexier.
Okay.
Olim in HLN. Yes, I love that.
Matan is your key point of contact for all Hulon related inquiries.
That's the name of this episode. Olim in HLN.
Okay, next neighborhood in Tel Aviv, Florentine. Ooh.
Oh, hipsters and hobos. It is what it is.
Should be the trademark of
hipsters and homeless
lots
people.
of musicians, lots of artistic quote unquote people.
Unemployed, yes.
Graffiti,
yes.
dogs.
Unemployed.
Yeah. I feel like when you move to Tel Aviv, you start in the center, and then you're like, I'm too cool for this, so I'm gonna move to Florentine. That's a general trend of people.
I think you move to Florentine because
you're broke and you can't afford the center.
Because that's how it goes. Let's go northern Tel Aviv, center, Florentine, homeless. That's
it's like as you make you
so at least you get to stay in Florentine.
You start from the bottom, and it's like the shbuim, and then as you make your way up to the Old North, it's like the more like stabilized people. It's like a pyramid. Like
it's like on Hunger Games when they drive through the sections. Like the poor people, and then when you get to the exactly all this with a mustache and that's northern Tel Aviv.
But it's crazy because actually, like all these sections we talked about, we have one more section, but they all have a different personality. Like Old North, Center, Florentine, it's really like different characteristics of people.
Course, just like New York, just like central New York and up north and Long Island. All of them got like it's it's different personalities. They're all New Yorkers, kind of, but they're not.
Yeah. But genuinely, if you're considering moving here and you're more free spirited, I would say, and like you don't need a specific like style of living and a high class way of living, Florentine's an easy option, I would say.
Yeah, and
it's
again,
cheaper. It's accessible. It's close to Tel Aviv. A lot of bars.
A lot of great hummus places.
Yeah, people are saying that it's going to become the new like up and coming.
I hate the.
I know.
Time.
No, but they really are. Because let me tell you,
the up and coming. No. Nothing is the up and coming of nothing. There's just different places and different people. Nothing is trying to be something else.
But it's not true. Let's take Dizengoff Street, for example. A few years ago, 6-7 years ago, Dizengoff Street was the street to be.
Okay.
It was poppin'. Everyone wanted to live there. People don't want to live there anymore. Now it's Nachlat Binyamin. Nachlat Binyamin is the new place to be. So there is like a new... Okay, just
the phrase, the new up and coming.
Remember when they said Ramadan?
That's my response.
Ramadan was up and coming.
Ramadan is the up and coming Tel Aviv.
Oh my gosh!
And Chulon is the up and coming Kiryat Malachi. Yes, 100%.
Where's Kiryat Malachi?
100%. You don't want to know.
Okay.
You don't want to know.
Okay.
That's the first thing my dad told me when I moved to Chulon. He said like he was so happy that I left the house. So he was like, every Friday we're gonna have like a breakfast and a coffee and like a coffee place in Chulon. Like I'll come visit you. And I was like, yeah, sure, that sounds awesome. So the first time he came to Chulon, it was to put my TVs up, like with the drill and everything. And my dad is a real like handyman, so he came in and we did all that. And then we're like, okay, let's go find some coffee place. I didn't even know. Like I was living in Chulon for like a week. I didn't know any. I was like, let's drive around, let's find something. And we're driving around, and my dad goes, I love Chulon. I was like, really? Why? I was like, it reminds me of Kiryat Malachi.
Well, I don't know whether to laugh or not, so I don't know what Kiryat Malachi is.
My dad grew up in Kiryat Malachi. Kiryat Malachi is like the example of like struggling, like city, like, all the
I feel like
immigrants.
All the cities here are struggling.
No, like Kiryat Malachi has its own charm of like staying old for so many years. That, they're trying to build like new...
Gotcha.
New neighborhoods,
but
it's still Kiryat Malachi. But I love Kiryat Malachi. My grandma lives there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
How far was it? How far?
From Tel Aviv, 40 minutes.
Never getting there.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, last neighborhood, Jaffa.
Jaffa, well.
Cool. It's cool-ish.
If you like knafe,
Florentine with class is Jaffa.
If you like knafe and the occasional stabbing, you can go live in Jaffa. It's just weird.
It's trademarked in my friend group as Florentine with class.
Jaffa, really? Keep them thinking like that.
They have the satay.
They
have the satay there.
Artists, satay.
Noga is actually the nicest. Do you know Noga? Noga, it's like an apartment complex in Jaffa. Really? It's considered very, very nice. A lot of
Olim live in Noga complex?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'll go roaming around.
And I feel like also if you live in Jaffa, you believe in coexistence.
You try to.
Old Man in the Sea. Do you remember? Oh.
Hazaken Vayam? Yeah, sure.
That used to be our place to go to when we studied abroad. Unlimited falafel, unlimited salads, 55 shekels, deal of a lifetime.
Yeah.
2 summers ago, my friends and I were there when the rockets started happening. We were the only, like, it was a really tense time in Israel, as always is.
Yeah.
We were one of the only Jews sitting at the tables, and rockets started happening, and everyone started clapping there. We literally threw money on the table and ran away.
Yeah.
Never sat there again.
That's the thing. That's the thing about, like, when you fantasize about coexist and about, you know, peace and really, you know, try to understand the other side, when those things happen, they don't understand. It's because the Arab pride, the pride thing in the Arab culture is like the main thing. Don't, you know, disrespect, don't hurt the pride. They kill their own family members because they hurt the family pride. They, you know, damage the family pride and some. It's like a common thing. And then when those things happen, it's just sad, you know. I remember I was 23 or 24 years old in Ashdod. I was going with my mom for like grocery shopping in Yochananov or whatever, and you know, the Empire, Yochananov, you know them. And then again, there was like a few, and it was one of the first like red alert sirens in Ashdod. It was a new thing. Now we're all used to it, and unfortunately, but it was a new thing because we were like, oh, they got to Ashdod? Like, what's going to be next? Tel Aviv? We were all just really shook about that. And I remember the Arab workers started clapping their hands and like, like shouting. And I'm not proud of it, but I took a watermelon, which is very symbolic now. I wasn't thinking about that. I wasn't thinking about that then, but I took a watermelon and it just ran to that guy's face, and my mom just grabbed me. Like, I was this close to throw watermelon like to his face. And then I calmed down, and he was so freaked out because everybody was getting down, and it was like he's immune to missiles or something. Like, and I just and then he looked away, and he saw a guy running towards him with a watermelon. Yeah. So
that was you.
Yeah, that was me. So yeah, I'm way more relaxed now. But that's the emotions that these things are really. It's just.
Yeah.
It's just, imagine being in the U.S. Just imagine being in New York and you hear about like a stabbing or something.
And then you start cheering.
And the Muslim people just start going, yeah.
Never pass.
What is this? Yeah. How is this acceptable?
It's not. Okay, Matan, so if I had to tell you, you have to, no more Hulon. Okay. No more Hulon. Okay. You have to choose one city to move to, one neighborhood to move to in Tel Aviv. Which one would you choose?
Never Tel Aviv.
You had to. You have no choice.
Maybe the Old North.
The Old North. Okay.
Yeah. Like if I had no other choice, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. But Olim, we hope we answered your question. Like, you really, honestly, you can't go wrong. But there are different stereotypes, different characteristics to each one based on your age, based on what you can afford.
Yeah.
You'll figure it out. We trust you.
Exactly. It's basically where you can afford living.
Yeah.
That's basically what it is. We're trying to sugarcoat it for you guys, but it's basically if you have enough money, you can live wherever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, that's the audience question.
That's it.
Yeah, it's been like 30, 40 minutes already. We're on to the hot takes.
Oh, wow,
ready?
Hot takes. Oh, really? Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Okay,
ready? First hot take.
Yeah.
You have Mamad, ? Is actually a great pickup line.
It is.
Have you tried that?
No.
No?
Because I'm not sleazy that way. But like, first of all, my mamad is packed with Legos. So I don't want any to go there and be like, oh, let's stay in the mamad. Don't. Keep away from the mamad.
Gosh.
The Lego is in the mamad, and it's the most important thing in my life right now. So yeah.
The messages we've been getting on Olim TLV for like mamad, it's like you want to come Netflix and chill in my mamad.
Yeah, why not?
My mamad could really use some decorating. Like It's absolutely iconic. You know, the humor that's coming out of this, honestly, Tinder Tuesday this week is gonna be crazy. That's all I have to say. It's gonna be nuts.
My mamad.
Okay, next one. We need a new Mr. Fafo from the Houthi / Hezbollah ASAP.
We do. We do. We do. We need someone who would do it all. Just like
speaking of Mr. Fo, is he okay? Like I haven't heard of him since we took West Korea.
Yeah,
Not real.
That's his cousin.
That reel was crazy, guys. That went viral.
Yeah.
His cousin.
My sister from a different mister.
Oh my gosh.
I love
but we
that.
do need one. I don't think that's a hot take. I think we're all in a general consensus that it's time that we get a new Mr. Fo.
Everybody's asking me, like, in your new apartment, you have a mod? I was like, yeah, of course. That was one of the main issues of, like, me. If I'm going to a new apartment, yes, of course.
We talked about this.
Yeah.
I don't have one in my apartment, and it's really tough. It's really, really tough.
You have to have one just for, you know what, just for your, like, mental state.
For sure. That's
just
my source of anxiety. I'm camping out.
If you know, like, I know in my old apartment, we used to run to the stairwell.
Yeah.
And
you don't feel safe.
fact, it's very awkward.
Yeah.
It's just you don't really feel safe.
You don't feel safe.
Like you hear the boom and everything is shaking and the building is so old.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't want to die with these people. You know, like I don't know them. It's gonna be awkward. That's
a good point, Olim. If you're like generally anxiety induced, which most of us are, find an apartment with a mamad. Like I don't have one and I'm camping out. Shout out to my friend Liat. I'm staying at her place. Woo, you know Liat.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, that's true. That's true. You don't have them in the center overflowing.
That's true. That's true. So Liat lives in the Old North. She's my only friend who has a mamad, basically. Yeah.
So amazing. So you're gonna stay with her?
I'm staying with her for a few weeks. Packed up a bag.
Awesome. She's great. She's great. You're gonna have a lot of fun.
The most consistent thing in my life is every comedy show, Liat taking a picture of my time.
Yeah. That's in my life too.
Okay, next one. Eating cheese with watermelon is nasty.
Depends on the cheese.
Feta cheese. I think they're implying feta cheese.
Yeah, I don't
think it's
Bulgarit.
I don't think it's nasty, but I could see how it could be a controversial hot take.
Yeah, it depends on the cheese, but because it's just, first of all, if you buy that, if you like go to like a beach bar or whatever, you buy that, don't do that.
It's gross.
It's gross expensive. And it's so expensive. But if you do it at home and you know like the specific cheese, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah.
I did the watermelon pizza. You know that one?
No.
When you cut the watermelon is like a pizza, like you don't cut it in triangles. You just cut it right in the middle of the watermelon. There's like a lot of different circles, right? Okay. And then what you do...
Was this the TikTok trend?
What? No, it's like I saw one of my friends did it.
Okay.
And what you do, it's amazing for you guys. You have a lot of like different circles, right? Because you just cut the watermelon in the middle. And what you do is just you put on the circles just like a little bit of gvina bulgarit, like cheese and like stuff like that, and like nana leaves and stuff like that. And then you cut it to triangles, and it's just like you eat it like that.
Like a pizza. Like a pizza slice. Oh, wow. Okay.
And it's so good. Wow. And it's so delicious. And it looks so good. It looks so nice. Like I was really surprised when I saw that. I was like, what is this? Like what is this pizza? And it was just amazing.
Sound like a little Jap American girl. Like, pizza.
because when you eat pizza and you were obese like me, you always have like guilty conscience. Yeah. You always so you want the alternative experience, but without the calories.
I get that. Respect. I get that.
Thank you, Noah.
You're very
welcome.
For
respecting my opinion.
You're very welcome. Okay, last one. Arsim are actually really nice and know how to treat an Israeli woman well. It's low-key kind of true. I feel like Arsim always take the Israeli girls out to the nicest restaurants, and they're always like low-key kind of gentlemen. Low-key.
Here's
not
something about being a gentleman. You should never be low-key. It's like, I'm a nice person, low-key, so f*** you, low-key. What? No. That's the thing about housing. What people don't understand is they're treating a woman very well. They're buying everything.
Taking her to the fanciest places.
But that's the thing. It's not out of being a gentleman or feminism. It's owning you. It's the most chauvinistic shit you will ever hear in your life, because that's how they were, brought up in their family. The dad owns everything. The mom cleans and cooks, which is awesome for them.
Never seen it this
Whatever, I'm not judging. But everything they're doing for you, the really hardcore ones, not everyone. I don't want to generalize anybody, but like the hardcore ones, that's how they get the girls. Yeah. Because the girls are really charmed by like he's flashing the cash and taking her to the best restaurants and pick her up with like this amazing car and whatever. But in his mind, he owns you now. So if you want to be owned, that's on you. Go ahead, live your life. You do
How do you
you.
have this insight? Like, do you?
Because I know Arsim. I was surrounded.
Were you previous Rs?
Of course. No, I was never Ars. Never.
Never.
I was obviously religious, but like
They're religious, Alcim. Yes.
they're not really religious. They're putting the yarmulkes on because they try to get out of jail. They're not really religious.
Okay.
I was truly religious, and I would listen to like hard rock and all the American pop culture that I consumed like crazy. So. But my friends were really artsy. And then when you sit down and you talk to them and you grow up with them, you understand that they view a woman like the old school one, like the hardest one. They view a woman as like, just like a pretty thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a trophy.
Yeah.
So if you want to be that,
good for you.
go ahead. Go be a trophy wife. Why not?
Some girls do, which is fine.
That's what I'm saying. If that's what you want to be, Arsim is the best option for you. You will be the best trophy wife ever. You're just gonna cook and clean.
Which city can you find these Arsim the most?
They're everywhere, but I think down south.
Where are they heavily populated?
Ooh, heavily populated. I think Beersheba, Ashkelon, Ashdod. Natanya.
Natanya is a good one, yeah.
Yeah, Natanya, that's a very good one. Krayot, the Arsim in the Krayot up north. Woo!
So a lot. If you're looking to be a stay-at-home mom, which is totally fine, trophy wife, this is where you need to go.
If you want a career, don't date an Ars.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
So this is actually hot take. Okay.
Yeah, it is.
Hot take. That's actually a funny one.
No, because I'm trying to explain the Israeli like culture innuendos and the culture, like the fine things to Americans. It's really hard. And you
have to use analogies.
Exactly. And you don't really have that in your culture. Like, there's no word for arsim.
Yeah.
Guidos, I heard in the last show.
Leon said that.
Leon said Guido, which is I think the closest thing.
Yeah.
I think the closest thing.
It is the closest thing.
It's kind of a Guido. But again, it's you try to, because I talked to a lot of Olim and Olot that had a bad experience with a guy or a girl. After one show, a girl approached me and she was like, I'm 25 and my Israeli boyfriend is 32 and I'm having a lot of trouble.
What are you, a therapist now?
I don't know. She just asked for advice, and I was like, "Yeah, sure."
On relationship advice.
Yeah, why not? And she was like, "I'm having a lot of trouble of like try to understand him and trying to understand why he's so afraid of commitment or whatever." And I was like, "How long you guys are together for?" And she was like, "Oh, we've been together for like 8 months or like 10 months or whatever." I was like, so first of all, he's committed to you. That's, I think, if you're over the 2-3 months period, you're good. Over the 6 months at least. And I was like, listen, Israeli guys, it's really hard to explain because Israeli girls, they kind of destroyed us in a sense that they're good ones, obviously. They're amazing ones. But the bad ones are horrible. Like the bad ones will damage you for a long, long time. And then when you meet an American girl, which usually are very nice and very respectable, and they ask about your day because they really want to know, you don't know how to handle this. You're like, maybe the language barrier, I don't know if it's passive aggressive, no, because it's hard for us to accept good treatment after you ran into like a really bad one. So you have to understand that we were all scarred, obviously, but don't change who you are, because a lot of American girls told me, like, should I be like meaner or like bitchier for these Israeli guys
to take me seriously,
take me seriously, and I don't believe that in general. Like, as a single guy, right?
Guys, next podcast episode is going to be relationship advice 101 from a ton parents.
Sure, I'm not trying to give anyone any advice. I'm just talking from my personal experience, and a lot of times people told me like, "Oh, you're too good. You have to play the game. You have to take like a step back. You don't have to answer.
Don't respond.
Don't respond. And I don't believe that. Like, don't change who you are. Don't be who you are, and the right person will appreciate that.
Agreed. You tell me that all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly. Yeah. We had a lot of talks about that.
For sure.
Don't change who you are.
Sure.
It's easier to get girls for me. I know. It's easier to get girls if you're like distant and like don't give a but it's not who I am. Like, I don't want to get into a relationship with a woman that thinks that is my personality, because it's not, you know? Mm-hmm. And that attracts bad people. If you're a mean person, that energy attracts
100%.
mean person and bitchy people. But if you're bringing good to the world
and being yourself,
some bad people will come along, but eventually it will attract a great person.
What a good note to end this podcast.
I really believe in that. Wow. Yeah, thank
you. Guys, this is it. It's been so great to be back. Honestly, I came in a little anxious about the whole situation here, everything, and talking here with you.
Huh. That's the whole idea. That's the whole idea. I hope everybody listened to this podcast, to this episode, and our other episodes is just a little bit of relief. Yeah. We did our job. Yeah. That's all I want to do. For you guys to have
safe. Keep up with our Instagrams. We're trying to post comedic humor there, comedic relief. Yeah. I actually did something yesterday, a bracket of most likely Iranian TLV targets, and it was Shalvata. It was Shalvata. It was a central bus station. It was all these places.
Why are you giving this information?
Wait, half of the people, the Israelis, died from laughter. And then we got some, Olim who aren't into dark humor, who really
they got really scared.
Really offended. Yeah. We were like, come on.
People forgetting.
Guys, come on. We're trying to insert comedic humor.
And people forgetting, there's Google Maps. You can travel.
And what do you think? The Iran leaders looking at Olim and TLV Instagram and looking at
where's the best places? Mahmoud, listen. No, it's obviously. I have one story to finish. One little story to finish. That my friend had this VR glasses, right? Mm-hmm. And he's got Google Maps on it, so you can, if you want to travel, what people do is that you go to Google Maps, you go to the place where you're supposed to be, and you travel the street. Like, you walk around and you look around, and then when you get there, it's all looks familiar, right? Yeah. So. It was really cool. I was walking around like France without the anti-Semitism, which is awesome. I was just traveling around like Canada, United States. I went to Empire State Building, all those places. I really enjoyed myself. And then he wanted me to pick a different country, so he needed to zoom out, right? Okay. So usually you zoom out just a little bit, and then you just turn the globe, and then but he zoomed out. He did 2 clicks, and I was looking at planet Earth from a distance, and I was panicking. I had my VR glasses, but seeing the globe. You were walking around in France, and then you're looking at the globe. I felt so small and insignificant, and it was a crisis for me. I was like, what are you doing? I'm sorry. Because he can see on the screen what you seeing. Yeah. He was like, oh, shit, sorry. So he brought me back to Earth, and I was like, I took the glasses. I was like, I'm not ready for space. Holy shit, no.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I hate space movies. Everything about space I hate.
What did that have to do with what we were talking about?
I know. I'm just I just had a story. Noah, not everything had to be connected.
I like connection. I like flow. I like connecting. Whatever, guys. Anyways,
the space is the new up and coming Earth. Just so you guys.
Guys, we love you guys. Stay safe.
And
it's all going to be okay. Yeah. We're resilient. We have the mascot protecting us. We have Matan Peretz, our relationship 101 advice mentor. If you're having relationship issues
with an Israeli,
during this war, his DMs are open.
Go ahead.
But we love you guys, and stay safe. And
God bless you. Am Yisrael Chai.
Am Yisrael Chai.
עוד יותר, יוצרי התוכן של ישראל.
הוקלט באולפני אדיו, המשווקת את ספוטיפיי בישראל. אדיו.